Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another podcast episode where I bring in psychology students, practitioners, and teachers to this platform where I ask them questions on our day to day daily activities and other the topics of psychology. Today's topic is applied psychology, and for this, I have invited Sumita Mendiratta ma'am for this amazing podcast. She is currently practicing in Canada and working with Orange Neurosciences Company. She has been a practitioner for more than 20 years and she has worked with many NGOs, even in India, and also with many corporate companies. She was a great personality to interview her. So, before we start, I would like to also say this that this podcast includes a variety of things on mental health, applied psychology, of course, and the new technologies that we have in the psychology fields further ahead. So, without any further ado, let's get started. So, hello, ma'am, and
Hello.
welcome to the podcast series.
Thank
So,
you so much.
uh, yeah, so we have chose the topic applied psychology. So, my very first question to you is what is applied psychology?
Okay. So I'm going to explain in a very layman term because I understand that we can get the technical definitions definitely from all sources. So a very simple way is to explain that whatever psychology, principles or the theory or the research is used to solve those practical problems, the real world, when we face the real world and when we get all those challenges, to face the real world. So whatever psychological principles we are applying to use, that is where the applied psychology background comes, or the field comes of applied psychology. So in real world, when we are dealing with situations of health, mental health, or physical health, education, the work life balance, stress, what we are having. So all those areas where we need to understand that how to understand this, how to understand the word of psychology, how we can apply it. So, just simple applied psychology means how we can apply our knowledge of psychology in these areas.
Okay.
Okay.
So, to sum it up, it means how in the small daily task can we apply psychology towards the life, and it sort of changes the outlook towards the life that we view. Like people view
Absolutely.
some things as problems, but once you understand something, the psychology behind it, you would view it as an
Yeah.
opportunity. So it takes a
Absolutely.
360-degree turn to our thought and practice.
Absolutely. Yes. Very nicely explained.
Okay. So why is this important to understand as as an individual who carries out his or her daily functions?
I would say yes, it's a very good question. And when I studied psychology, I was very happy that I got an opportunity to study first, because it is very important for every one of us to understand how our emotions, our behavior, what we think, our cognitive processing, how our brain functions. Because if we understand these things, I think our perspective of life definitely changes. The way we can focus on things, the way we can look at any problem in life, that whole perspective changes. So it's very important for all human beings actually to study some kind of a psychology in their lives to understand themselves, because I feel it's very important first to understand my own self rather than understanding others. I cannot understand others if I don't understand myself. So it's very important that I understand myself as a human being. What is my thought? What is happening with my behavior? What are my actions? Why I'm doing the way what I'm doing. Very simple. So that's very important to understand this part of psychology.
Yeah. Okay. And since you have been a practitioner for psychology for more than 10 years, what do you
Yeah.
think like applied psychologists do in some sort? Like if someone comes to you what is the process of you doing so that it helps in their ahead?
Okay, so we start, the first step is basically like a history taking or a rapport building session, we can call, where we understand what is the person here for, what are the challenges, what are the areas of conflicts, or what exactly is the issue coming in. We want to hear from the person, okay, who is coming to me. So that is the first session, is just building that rapport, because when a person approaches, it's very difficult to reach to a psychologist, I would say, is a very big task for that person, because that person understood that he or she needs help.
Hmm.
So very important that I, as a practitioner, can build that trust. I, as a psychologist, can help that person to, so that he or she is ready to talk, open up and express. So like sometimes even 2 or 3 sessions go in that building of rapport building, trust. And then we start focusing on what are the challenges coming in. We explain to that person that, okay, if these are the options, if these are the challenges, what are the, if he or she comes with a diagnosis, or as a psychologist I need to do the diagnosis. So there are different perspectives. Would he be needing any medication for this, about his challenges, or is it in a mild way that it can be worked with some tools? Like I use a lot of tools like brain gym and counseling, and like I also use a tool called EFT, like a tapping, or we need like a detailed cognitive processing for that person. So there's a tool called Read On, which I use. It's a digital cognitive therapy. So there are different tools. We can use art as a therapy. I also use art to understand, by drawings, by colors that person is using, because it's very important for me to reach from that conscious part, what the person is talking, to the subconscious, that unconscious, what even, we cannot reach to ourselves. We cannot go to that part of our brain. So it's very important as for me as a practitioner, to understand that subconscious, because that is where the reason lies in, that is where the issue lies in. And to reach to that part, it might take few sessions, definitely, because that person consciously would be saying that, okay, this is my challenge, this is my problem. But at the subconscious level, there are so many areas where the person is not ready to probe into. So as a psychologist, that's my job, to probe into those areas, to bring the picture clear to that person, so he or she can just understand themselves better.
Okay, so now I get it. Why do therapies take a lot of sessions and it's not just done in 1 or 2 sessions? Because first we need to build the trust and then the problem starts, then the solution starts off.
Yes.
Okay. Ma'am, you mentioned about 3 things like brain gym, read on, and EFT. So could you tell us in detail what are these three, a short description of them?
Okay, so Redon is a digital cognitive therapy platform. It's a company called Orange Neurosciences in Canada, which is got this product. It is a artificial intelligence based, power, like a backed up AI backed up product, which is using digital cognitive therapy and assessment on the platform. So we get a very detailed analysis of what are the areas of cognitive processing, like focus, attention, all the executive skill functioning areas. So we get an academic as well as a report, where we understand that this person is having these challenges, because sometimes the problem is, on the surface, it looks like that I have a challenge in reading, I have a challenge in writing, but at the surface level, deep below, there's a lot of stress happening, at the individual's brain, for which he's not able to do that. Okay, so when we get this, and this the program Read On, it is a game-based program. It's a game-based therapy, and it is based on the principle of neuroplasticity. So we know that our brain has the power to build new neuron connections and then train themselves. So based on this neuroplasticity principle, Redon is helping a lot of individuals, all the neurodiverse populations, to understand, and we can use it at any age above 6 years to, any even the elder citizens. So all these challenges coming to them, to their brain, can be understood and then also worked upon. So that is where the role of read-on comes. EFT, I would say it's more of like a, whenever there's a distressing memory in our body, in our thought, in our mind. So there's a disruption in our whole energy system, and then it causes the negative emotion. So EFT, emotional freedom technique, it's a tapping technique. So like if we can just do a little demo, like if you are breathing right now, you are aware of your breath. Okay, so let's give a number to your breathing right now. Can you give a number from 0 to 10 to your breathing? Is your
One.
breathing deep or shallow? 1. Okay. From 0 to 10, can you give a number to your breathing?
7.
What is the number coming in your mind?
7.
7. Okay, great. So tapping is just, it's like when we are tapping, we are directing the kinetic energy. So there are specific points. I'm just giving a little demo that I can tap on this point, or I can tap on fingers. So I would like to invite you to, tap along with me. So if you can just like copy me and just tap on yourself. And at the same time, you can say, I'm breathing 7. You can loudly say that I'm breathing 7, and it's okay.
I'm breathing 7 and
This
it's
breathing,
okay.
this breathing. So I can tap on my head. I can tap in the center of my eyes, in the side of the eye, below the eye. These are all the points of tapping. So this breathing, which is 7. This breathing, which is 7. It's okay. I allow myself to breathe better. I give myself permission to breathe. Okay. We just did a very small demo, just like, just to introduce how tapping happens. And let's take a deep breath and see what's the number coming in now. What number is coming to your mind now?
9.
So breathing is something which is a very involuntary mechanism of our body. Okay.
Correct.
We are aware we are breathing, but
Mm.
if breathing can change with just a few seconds of tapping, you can see that how powerful and mechanism of tapping is, that it works on a lot of fears, helps us to release a lot of challenging the blocked channel from our body, and that is why it helps in removing the negative emotions.
It was indeed a very, refreshing. It felt like, someone has actually done miracles to me just by tapping, and I did it by myself. And my breathing improved
Yes.
almost instantly. So that's amazing. Like this technique, I haven't heard it ever before. In India, although we have acupressure and acupuncture, but they are almost like you
Yes.
punch yourself, you just press very hard your skin against it. And this
So
is
the
just
tapping points are the same. The tapping points are the same for acupuncture. Uh, the points which are used are, but this is a emotional version of acupuncture. This is without needles.
oh
Okay,
yeah,
and
correct.
that's why it is little easy for even a child to practice on themselves. So you can learn tapping and you can do on yourself. And so it's quite empowering for the person. It's like a tool you can carry to yourself, when you're having anxiety or like a panic attack, or when you're feeling very fearful about something. It really works on all those areas.
Yeah, and for this we don't need anyone's help. We could do it by all ourselves. No instrument needed. Just we need just a place. We could do it in a train, in a metro, in a cab,
Absolutely.
wherever we feel it.
Absolutely. So this is something you learn from a certain certified practitioner, and then you can, start using it for your own self. Now, Brain Gym, definitely Brain Gym is a 26 design movements technique, which is using the auditory, the visual, the kinesthetic, it's using that learning. And it is also empowering us to reach to our peak performance.
Okay.
Okay. So if you have a glass of water, do you have water with you right now?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do.
So one of the movements of brain gym is sipping water, we call it. Okay. So as you take a sip of water, you keep the water in your mouth for 5 seconds, like
Okay.
you become aware of that water. Okay. So let's have a sip of water and make the water, water passes through your midline of the body. So you become aware about it. So brain gym is also empowering us to notice ourselves, because unless and until we don't notice ourselves, we don't understand. So sipping water gives us a lot of energy. You can check your energy levels before and after. So when you're feeling really tired, very exhausted, because as our body is made of 80% water, our brain also needs water. And sipping water is a very good technique. It's a very good movement actually to allow ourselves to get that energy back whenever we are feeling really tired. As we feel tired, our brain also feels tired. So, it's important to have water, definitely. But if you're not able to, get to those like 3 liters, 4 liters, keep sipping water throughout the day. That's a very, simple movement, but definitely very empowering. So I believe in using all these tools to keep my own energy levels, my own level of uh, mental and physical health in balance. And when I learned all this, and when I understood that yes, this is helping me, so why not you know help other people? Why not use it in and because these are all research based techniques.
Hmm.
Even art therapy, and like you can use art as a form of learning, as a form of understanding the other person, and also as a form of response. So if any time when you are really very uh, feeling very low, or feeling like things are really challenging for you, you can express it in an art form like writing. We say journaling, or writing is another form, but for some people writing is also. So colors is very easy, even children can do. So when you're using colors, when you're using art as a way of releasing your stress, a practitioner or a therapist or a person who's trained in art therapy can understand from your use of colors, from your drawings, that what's going in your subconscious brain, because that's the easiest way to reach to your subconscious language. So thanks to all to my mentors from whom I learned,
Hmm.
all these techniques. I'm in real gratitude for them.
And as we see that art therapy in this, we don't have to say so much, and there are also some feelings which we can't express. Like if you ask a child, he or she can't express what he is going through, but through colors, we could identify. Okay, this is what that child is trying to say. Of like even for teenagers, even in the Gen Z generations, we don't like to share a lot, but there's in the subconscious, there's a lot going in our head, and sometimes it's judged because we are so much free in life that we don't know exactly what to do, why to do. Especially this social media, it has added so much pressure which is not even required. It's a
Absolutely.
sort of useless pressure that comes to. And so these they have termed a new thing. It's not a new thing, okay, sorry, but they have given more importance to mental health. And do you think that it's going to be hard or difficult to train the Gen Zs, or it's going to be really easy to connect with them?
So I would say it depends on what is your need. So be it the generation Z, Gen Z as you call it, or the older generation as I belong to. I would say any generation. We all need connections. We all need love. We all need communications. you know. So sometimes the channel is not being built up. So be it between a parent or a child, or a caregiver and a child, or between friends, or between any age group, it is very important to build that connection. Like I said, that rapport building. Even in day-to-day life, we need that rapport, because we are not, we are social beings. We need connections. We like to, nobody can live in isolation. But at the same time, we want things as we think, in our perspective, the way we want it.
Hmm.
But that's
Always.
not going to happen every time. So
Hmm.
what is now am I going to do? Am I ready to, change the other person, or am I ready to change myself? That is the first question coming to me. If I'm always, trying to change the other person, then I would always be in stress. But if I'm ready to change myself and understand that everything what is caused, all my emotions, all my, challenges are because of me, not because of the other person. It is never because of the other person. It is always because of me. I, me, myself. So it is very important that now what to do with this I, me, myself. And the more I channelize my energy, use my energy in building those small term goals, short term goals, as we say, not the long term goals. We all like to see the big picture, but to reach to that big picture, it's very tiny steps we have to take, and we have to really tick mark those tiny steps. Yes, I have done it. That builds that confidence that yes, if I can do yesterday, why not I can do today? The problem with the Gen Z, I would say, not the problem, I would use the word challenge. The challenge is that we are comparing with other people. The social media is just portraying what is happening in everybody's life. And I am not putting anything on social media, or I'm putting, then that's a challenge for me, because I am being compared with other people. Very important that I compare myself with my own journey. And when I do that, I feel really confident that yes, I couldn't do this much and I'm doing it today. So that's where the self esteem is. So, any generation, I would say the self esteem is really, really important. And it is very important to understand that it is in my hands to, keep my self esteem. It is not in other people's hand.
Absolutely. I totally relate to every word you said. We put ourselves so much pressure just because we need to look in a particular way. We can't, think of anything else. What is trending? We need to put our heads to that, even if we don't relate a single bit of it. Like going to parties and clubbings. If you aren't going, you are considered pretty much old. It's too much pressure.
Yes, so that's why very important that I do something which is, helping me to understand that yes, I'm enjoying it. Because at the end of the day, if my brain is not releasing that happy hormone,
Hmm.
that dopamine is not released, from my brain, that happy hormone is not released, and the release is the stress hormone which is being released. What is the purpose? At the end of the day, then I'm struggling with myself, because I did not get my share of happiness. Because at the end, the challenge is that we all get that happiness.
Correct.
So I would say, whatever keeps you happy, and at the same time, remember that you're doing it for yourself, not for others. Because most of the time, we are doing things for others, I would say, not for us.
Correct. Okay. So, do you think this mental health topic it will grow big in the future? Like, as in not just Gen Zs, even the mental health in men in general, it's growing up. The topic is picking up the pace. And we as women, I think it's very important to take consideration of the men in the family, men in the house. It's very important to consider them in a decision that includes them, like in the family decisions. Often we don't. We just ask our moms, and we don't even consider asking our dads. They're like, "Mummy hai na, mummy dekh legi." Sort of kind of attitude. We Indian kids have this, and especially I have this. So, but mental health of a man is getting degraded. They can't spend time with their family because they have to earn money. Even if they try very hard to meet ends, on the some other end from our sides, things go haywire. So, like, what is this? Is there any midway solution?
So I would say, see, this depends on each family structure, how it is, okay, and each family has a different perspective to, looking at this. So if we are talking of definitely the mental health of each individual is important. So why, you differentiate between men, women, children. It starts from, when a child is i- i- comes in the family, and we treat the child as a, that he or she doesn't know, we have to do everything. And as they start growing up, sorry, so we need to respect their brain, their individuality, and give them that sense of belongingness. So, any member of the family, in a family constitution, as we call it, it's very important to have that sense of belongingness. And that is being carried from home to workplace to community. That sense of belongingness is very important. So, if the father of the family, in an Indian perspective, it's father of the family is earning, mother is taking care of children at home. So for the child, when the child is viewing the mother and the father, it's not one unit. It's like two separate units. Okay, for mom, for these things I need to connect with mom. For these things I need to connect with dad. Somewhere we all have been brought up in this scenario. But then it is also important to, sit in front of the child as a parent, as like not two separate individuals, like, one unit, and then discuss it. So that, I would say, is the, like, a little message going to the child that yes, anything which needs to be discussed has to be done as a unit, as a family. We all share, we all, connect to each other. So that connection itself will help even the men of the family to connect, even the, females of the family to connect, and the child gets that connection in their heart. If the men of the family is, the person is going out and earning, but ultimately, is he earning for himself, is he earning for family? A lot of times this is a pressure that we have to do things for others.
Correct.
What is the happiness am I getting from my own work? This question is never asked, and it is very important to keep asking yourself as an individual, that am I, what I'm doing, is it okay for me? Am I doing something really over the board? Because this keeps on building up. Then you will not realize in one day, but over the years, you will get into that phase of life that, oh, this caused me stress and I didn't realize it. So I would say everyone should be aware about it. What is causing me challenge? What are my triggers? We don't even realize, people keep going in their lives. So, like, we are leading a very stressful life for years and years, we don't realize it, just
Hmm.
like a monotonous way.
So I think in the
Okay.
busy, hectic work life that we live on, we need to pause, take a break, understand our emotions, and if needed, take help from our family members, friends, or professional therapists.
I would say at this point, taking help from family members and, friends or partners, they will not be able to help you. They will just be able to listen you and give their perspective. So very important, the role of a mental health practitioner or a psychologist or a counselor in this time comes very important, that we need to take professional help. Okay, because professional person is going to give you not his opinion. He's not going to judge you. He or she is not going to, just, so the listening, and then he or she is going to listen to you, the professional, and then give you different perspectives of what are your challenges and what are the options. Okay, so there, a very, I would say, channelized way of help is coming to you. But when we are, what our thinking is, oh, let me share it with my friend, let me share it with my partner, or let me share it with my child or my parents. Sharing, communicating is good. There's no harm. But if you're expecting them to give you help, they are going to help you from their perspective.
Yeah.
They are not going to help you from, you know, and you need help from your perspective, not from their perspective,
Yeah.
even if they are your parents or your family. Okay. So this is a slight difference which we need to understand. And then we can, approach it in a better manner.
Yes. And going to professional help, that, and if you tell it to someone, some relative, some friends, that listen, I'm going for therapies, they're like, okay, what's happening, what's so big in life that you need a therapy? I'm here to listen. But they just listen, they don't see it from our perspective, from our mindset.
Absolutely.
Even they start integrating their opinions and thoughts with us, and they create a mixture, and we get more confused with the stuff that we
Absolutely.
don't want to.
Absolutely. Yes. So that's why it's important that we all approach, we see this perspective of mental health, support from a like a practitioner or a mental health professional. Because, when we all like to go to doctors, or, we take profession, we don't do things, everything on our own. We go to different areas. If you need to buy something, we definitely go to the shop. You don't start creating in your own home. So then why is that, that kind of a like a blockage, I would say, or a kind of a hitch, where we think that, oh, going to a mental health practitioner is something really alarming. It's okay to take help, it's okay to ask for help, it's okay to take support. I think this perspective of mental health, when we all start realizing it, that it's okay to, approach a mental health practitioner and ask for help, I think that would really be the big thing, as you were saying.
And we could definitely change the world into a much better place, without judgments, without a lot of stress that we live on currently in. Okay, before I let you go, any advice for the viewers?
More than advice, I would just like to give my suggestions, that, whenever you are going through, we all go through like our emotional journeys, and, our challenges, our, day-to-day way of stressors which keep coming and bouncing us. Very important that you really become aware about it. If you're aware about it, you acknowledge it.
Uh,
You take a pause and take your time out. So in 24 hours, I would say, take out that whatever time you can, like even 10 minutes is good enough to acknowledge for those emotions, like a review, every like start of the day or end of the day. Take that review and understand yourself, that is that okay? Because it should not be that you're reviewing yourself after many years. Like a daily review is good.
mm,
And your sleep, your breathing, your water, these three parameters are really good enough. You should have a sound sleep. You can keep, we all are breathing, but then you can become aware about your breathing. And, like sipping water throughout the day, or your water intake. These three are very good parameters to make you understand that, yes, I'm going good. And how am I feeling? Ask yourself, am I doing good? How am I feeling? So this connecting yourself to your emotions, I would say, is a very healthy way of judging yourself, because our brain and body is connected. So if, we are remaining happy and healthy mentally, then physically also our body is going through that same way.
yeah. And I guess we once people get married, they find solace in their partners, in their respective partners. But first, we need to understand ourselves. Then we need to find solace in someone else's life and in their problems and situations. Because if we aren't able
Absolutely.
to understand our emotions, how are we gonna let them help in handling their emotions?
Absolutely. And I would say a little suggestion here that we can just be support to them. We cannot really help them as individuals, to really build upon their journeys. Everybody, even my child has to build his or her own journey. So I can just be there for support. So that unconditional love is really required for a partner, for a child, and at the same time we allow themselves to find their own journeys. Because like I said, if we are not happy, how can we give that happiness to others?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for joining in. It was great talking to you.
Thank you, Dhruti. Your questions were quite insightful, and it was a great talking to you.
This podcast is done in association with the Krish Welfare Organization. They are based in Delhi and they provide affordable and accessible solutions to mental health problems all over the world. Do check them out. Link in the caption below. Also, thank you everyone for watching this video.